What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gotham After Show here on theStreamtv, as usual. Okay, on my left, we got your boy David.
Hi, David Fichtenmayer.
On my right, we do have the lovely Vi.
Oh, the lovely Vi. Hi.
And at the end, we got your boy Tommy.
How you doing, guys? Good to be here.
Well, my name is Devon. As we know, I skip myself because I don't believe I need to go first every time. I like to spread it out to my lovely friends here and my acquaintances.
That was wonderful.
You're super selfless.
So, how do we all feel about this episode so far? How we feeling?
I liked it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid episode. I liked the investigation. I enjoyed the investigation of the crime, the Balloonman. And I enjoyed, you know, kind of a beginning reaction from the Gotham people to a vigilante, how they would respond to a vigilante, and kind of setting the stage for maybe, you know, 20 years down the line when they get another vigilante that maybe the people will respond to.
Okay, okay. Because it was a big mystery at first, you know, who the Balloon Man is. We actually did some research to try to find out if there's actually a Balloon Man in the whole little Batman Gotham universe. And David, of course, unmasked some interesting facts.
Unmasked.
So we did some Wikipedia, some Googling, and I didn't find anything as a Balloon Man that goes with, you know, Batman specifically, but apparently there is a Balloon Man for, also known as Metal Man from, I think it's the past New Earth or something? I'm not...
Earth 2?
Earth, I don't know, some New Earth comic line. Sure. And there's only like 2 or 3 issues, and he's just a big robot. So I don't think there's any
Well, he was clearly a robot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys know something more about, and if you guys have any more details on the Balloon Man, holler back and let us know. But I think that this might be all that we saw of him. Who knows? What do you guys think?
I mean, and then that also brings another thing too, because he didn't just like do a little thing. He did like a lot of big things. Like he was out there killing folks. What was it? Robert Danzer. What was the other dude's name? Ben Cranston.
Ben Cranston, which I immediately thought of Bryan Cranston.
I did too. That's when you said, when you asked him about it, I was like, oh, you talking about Breaking Bad? And you was like, no.
Well, I'm glad Bryan Cranston made it out alive.
Yes.
Yes. That would have been a sad turn if we lost Bryan Cranston.
I know. What did he do, man? I mean, the only crime that he committed was maybe, you know, like ending Breaking Bad, but whatever. Yeah. Ain't no reason to be killed.
That is true. That is true. Plus the whole little Cardinal Quinn part.
Right.
And I found it funny when they said the diddling priest. I thought that was pretty funny myself. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, they certainly didn't make any of these victims sympathetic. Like, certainly it was all like, oh, he murdered 3 pieces of garbage. Like, the Balloon Man was not taking off any targets you might feel bad about. The person I felt the worst about was the old lady that got crushed by the Detective Cranston.
Right.
She kind of died for no reason. I felt like they kind of were.
Wait, she died?
She was underneath him.
Yeah, she was under, like, you know, they were getting the shovel out for her.
No, he was flattened out.
Yeah, there were like 2 bodies.
And then there was an old lady, I believe, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can tweet at me and tell me I'm an idiot, and I'll favorite it. Because I just like to be interacted with.
But no, they flattened him out like the whole Roger Rabbit thing. He was flat, and then you see her little like Wizard of Oz feet coming out with the red heels.
Whoa, okay, see, I missed that. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what's interesting though? You were talking about how it was kind of disappointing that he made all the Balloon Man actually made this really great speech at the end to Jim and Bullock, and he's, I don't know, like it was actually like I was kind of being won over, like yeah, you're a legit vigilante, and then all of a sudden he's just like, screw it, I'm gonna shoot you, and it was like, why did you ruin that? You know, it's too bad.
And shout out to Dan Bechtold. It was a great performance as the Balloon Man, a great comedian and improviser.
Really?
Does a lot of work at iOS, and I thought he did a nice job in a kind of one-off guest star tonight. I thought he was very
yeah, for sure.
He kind of won me over until he fired at the main character in the show. That may have been ill-advised, but
cool. Speaking of that, randomly, I just thought maybe he was wearing that pig mask type thing. Shout out to Captain Butterfingers on YouTube, who enlightened us and let us know that Laslo Valentine is in fact Professor Pig. Well, the only Laslo that we know is the one that's with Jada Pinkett, Fish.
Miss Fish.
And
Fish.
I mean, I kind of highly doubt that that's Professor Pig, but then again, this could be like a beginning thing where he's working his way through.
Well, no, she just took him out. She said, get rid of him.
Yeah, but maybe that's why he's got to wear the pig mask or something. Because I mean, like, what is with these pig masks? And then we have a character named Laslo. So I feel like that's too much of a coincidence for us to not address that.
Too many red flags. Too many red flags. But also, shout out to @GothamSite. Okay, check them out at GothamSite.com. Okay. And yeah, I know there were some people you wanted to shout out as well.
Oh, some of my favorite people in the world, Socialtron Live and Aren't We Clever? I love you guys. Every time you want to go watch some good live gaming, they're your folks.
Oh, and Vi, I know you just got all kinds of moist when your boy came back on the screen. I know you did.
Boy.
I'll let you go ahead and lead the way with Mr. Oswald over here.
All right, let's talk about the Penguin returning. What is he gonna do next? I don't know. I hope he changes though. Well, he did change. He got out of his like super like ultra douchey yellow collar outfit, and now he's a busboy. I care about that. I like that he's trying to make some honest living. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it an honest living, but he did set himself up nicely.
I'll praise my baby for any attempt that he makes at legitimacy.
Hey, Vi is down, bruh. Vi is down with that life. But he set himself up well in that little restaurant. So obviously he's looking for new, real employment, not like, a 9 to 5. He's looking for another fish. But,
Yeah.
Where do we think his checks are being mailed to, his paychecks? Because he probably, I'm going to guess he doesn't have a standard mailing address at this point.
P.O. box.
Maybe that camper that he's hiding bodies in as well?
It's mobs, they pay cash.
Well, the thing is,
this is true.
I mean, he might not
Uncle Sam
get
doesn't know.
mailed checks. He might just, pick his check up at the job.
Oh,
type of
yeah,
thing.
sure.
That's true. I was like, I'm not sure.
Does he have a bank account?
But probably. Who knows? I mean, it's not like they're hunting him like
He
that.
spends everything on tuna fish sandwiches. Do you guys notice
Exactly.
that he bought another tuna
got
fish sandwich?
$105. I would have went and bought a lobster and a steak. He got a tuna fish
I know,
sandwich.
he gets a tuna fish sandwich.
Yes, and
That's so
then
funny.
we cannot obviously dismiss the fact that he popped up at who else's house? Mr. Gordon's house.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't you come back." And he just waddles his little ass over there to his house.
I thought that was a great way to end it. And also, it's like, of course he's got to go back to Jim Gordon. That's a smart thing to do, Is like, well, maybe it's not the smart thing to do. I don't know. What do you guys think? But I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like he's going back to say, like, thank you for saving my life. I'm going to pay you back. That's what I think is going on.
I
No?
think, in my opinion, I believe that kind of sets up the psyche of a supervillain. The confidence to go back to the man who literally saved your life and gave you, the only other alternative was he was going to die on that dock. And then Jim Gordon set it up, made it seem like, he could survive that way. And now he goes directly to his apartment and says, I came back thinking he could get away with it. Thinking that he could be the type of person that, like, could convince Jim Gordon not to immediately put him in jail. Or immediately, or whatever, or serve him up to Bullock.
Well, maybe it was maybe more of one of those things where it's like Jim Gordon's the only person in Gotham that's not trying to kill him.
True.
It's his only friend. It's the only place he can really go to that
Yeah.
he can be safe with.
Or maybe he's just trying to be a jerk and be like, yeah.
Well, we don't know. I mean, I hope we don't take it that far, but who knows? And then just random, but he killed a couple people around there, and we ain't hear nothing about those people. I guess they're not investigating. The Balloonman just kind of overwhelmed the entire
who did he
pace.
kill? He killed, do we got a body count? Did he kill,
I think like 2 people. He got some
We
shoes
got
and he got
4.
$105.
4 bodies.
Oh yeah, he killed the guy for the shoes.
He killed the fisherman in the front.
Yeah.
The second episode, he killed the 2 college boys.
Well, he killed one for sure, right?
Well, and then he killed the other one.
No, he
when-
killed they implied he killed the other one
Implied,
because the thing. And yeah, then he killed the guy for the
So then it's
shoes.
5.
So we have 5
But then
bodies
he-
on here now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, everybody's focused on the Balloonman, so
Right.
forget it. They were nothing. The restaurant didn't even ask, like, why didn't he show up to work? Oh, them like shoes. Where'd you get those? They just was like, cool.
Oh, and I want to say, like, he talked about his mama again, so I'm really hoping that maybe we'll see Carol Kane again because that was great. I mean, if we can bring her back again, I'd be excited.
I just thinking, I hear the when he asked him what his shoe size, he said, "Oh, what a coincidence!" Is anybody else catch the Belly reference there? Anybody seen the movie Belly with Nas? What's your shoe size? My size.
You definitely just one-upped my black card right now because I was like, the belly reference? What you talking about?
Nas. Nas.
I know it now that you're talking about, but I was like, he didn't have a belly. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And that
Okay,
just...
one more quick question.
Yeah.
Who caught the name of the mob boss of the new restaurant? Do you guys remember?
Oh,
Do y'all remember?
Maroney?
Can
Yeah,
y'all
do you
tell
remember?
us, please?
Remind us.
if
We
you
need to
got
take
something?
notes. Yeah.
Well, it's the guy that Eric Roberts played in The Dark Knight.
Oh, really?
Oh, it started with an M. It's
Maroney?
Maroney, yeah.
Maroney, yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, all
Maroney,
right.
Falcone. Are there any
A lot of
other?
Italian guys. Not a lot of Irish gangsters in this town.
Yeah, no,
That's too
not...
bad.
Shout out to the
I guess
O'Reillys.
Italians is the only mobs. No Armenians, no nothing.
The Brannigans. That's a
Yes.
tough mob family.
But also, speaking of Falcone, Fish is not bullshitting no more. So now she just kind of giving up the info, She's throwing his name out there, legit-wise. And then the whole, she said something else about Jim Gordon, yes. Messing his whole life up and whatnot, got him watching his back.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sucks because he's put in a position where you can't say, hey, I really didn't kill him. Okay, because then that can get back to Falcone, and then that's gonna get his ass. So it's like he's stuck between a rock and a hard spot, you know. But I'm just curious on now if Carmine knows, because you know he seems like one of them guys that I know everything,
He's gotta
but I'm
know.
gonna let you lie to me, and then I'm gonna just go off of that, you know.
I think he's got to know. I mean, I don't think that like he would have had that. I mean, it's just. I don't know. Like the actor playing it did a great job of leaving it up to, you know, leaving it up to the imagination, but. Come on, Falcone doesn't become the #1 crime boss in Gotham by like not knowing these things.
But this is also the thing we know about Falcone is that he's a mob boss who values structure and values order and values honor and things falling into place. If he goes and whacks Fish Mooney, chaos is going to ensue because Fish Mooney plausibly has hundreds of people who are loyal to her.
The vacuum.
So that's not really his type of move to just kill someone right away. I mean, I believe he probably knows that she's trying to screw him over, but he's way more pragmatic than that. You know, I don't think he's going to make an attempt on her life out in the open like that. He'll set her up somehow or try to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Gordon. The whole thing with Fish Mooney ratting out Gordon. I don't think Falcone knows.
You don't think so?
Because I think in the sense you're right. I think he's the guy that knows everything. Like we know from these conversations that he's having with Fish. That he knows that she's the woman who's doing all these things, you know? But he's not coming right out and saying it. Now, Falcone's got, obviously this guy, he knows everything that's going on. If he would have, for the slightest instant, had a clue that Penguin is still alive, he would have done something about it by now. And nothing's been done.
Nobody knows he's alive except for the guy he killed, though, yeah? I mean, even Maroni doesn't know that.
Well, see, everybody who's seen Penguin thus far, seen him thus far, Penguin has killed.
Nobody who sees the Penguin lives.
So Gordon's now Gordon and Barbara are now the only people who knows who he is that knows he's still alive. That's seen him. Everybody else that's seen him, Penguin has killed him.
Besides, like the people in the restaurant, like the mob boss.
They don't know.
Yeah, but they don't know who he is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So maybe he just at a different part of town. I don't know that they might not. You know, go out. Maybe it's not in their jurisdiction.
I think it's the other camp. You know, it's the other side.
Yeah.
You go from being a patriot to working for the Redcoats. You know.
For sure, for sure, that's what he's done.
The reference.
Hey, but while we're talking about Fish Mooney, you know how she decides that she's like bored with Laslo, and I want to go back to talking about. If Laslo really is like Professor Pig, because Captain Butterfingers brought up something kind of interesting, and I just feel like because of all of those like pig masks that were dropped, that Laslo and the pig masks were, you know, I feel like that's too intentional for that connection to not be made later on. What do you guys think?
That's definitely true. They wouldn't have like 3-4 pig masks for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
It could be just one of those things. It's like the first episode where they dropped the Joker hint. Like obviously he's not the Joker,
right?
But it's one of those things to pique your interest and get you excited. You know, like obviously we saw there was the Easter egg of the pig mask last episode, and we saw more of it this episode. And now we know it's really not him.
Right.
So, but I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, let me think about it. I have to go do my research. I got to go check out the next episode. You know, I don't think there is a connection there. But I mean, especially since she's already killing Laslo.
Sure.
So.
Well, maybe getting rid of him doesn't necessarily mean killing him. Maybe she just mean like we can actually maybe just fire this guy. You know, give him a regular life outside of the restaurant.
Or maybe
blood in, blood out, my friend.
Or
maybe like whatever the awful thing is that happens to him when they try to kill him is what turns him into Professor Pig. Maybe that's like his breaking point.
Okay.
It could be.
I can see that.
Maybe
all right.
building up origin story.
Now, one of you guys had something to say about Professor Pig and Arkham. Yeah? No? Do you remember the Professor Pig Arkham relationship?
After I read the whole Professor Pig thing, I read something that he had some kind. There was a link to Arkham with the drugs, and then I know that they're going to go with Arkham in this season. So I'm like, oh, maybe you know there could be there because he could be linked to Arkham. I don't know.
And welcome. It's nice to have a couple extra people coming on. Utah Raptor specifically. It's a dope name. Sounds pretty cool. Hopefully you are in Utah or that is false advertisement. Okay. Spice Nug, welcome back.
Spice Nug,
I remember
yes.
you last time.
Spice Nug.
Okay, what it is.
Yo, Spice Nug.
Sean Matthew, I hope you have an acoustic guitar because that sounds like a good album name. Okay. And Mallow, the kid?
Mallow.
Please tell
Like
me if I'm saying it wrong.
Bad,
Mallow
the kid?
or Malo, like Halo, because it's with an M.
Or like Malo.
Whichever
like,
one you
muy
prefer,
bad.
let us know so we can call you that politely. Okay. And yeah, so next topic I would like to bring up actually is the Alfred Bruce Wayne topic, okay? Now, we're going a bunch of different routes with this one, okay? Because everyone knows Alfred is like, hello, sir. I'm Alfred. I'm here. I have a towel on my arm. His food. Somehow I can blow up shit and do things.
Right.
But this one, like, as you were saying, Tommy, with the whole New 52 storyline, like, I don't know much about that Batman one, but,
Sure.
I mean,
Well,
break down.
yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering if they're making Alfred a little more like, and maybe I'm going to be wrong, and again, if I'm wrong, correct me. I believe it's Batman Year One, which was part of the New 52 releases that had Alfred being more of a mentor rather than just a caretaker. And I think that's the storyline where Alfred and Thomas Wayne actually served in the military together, in some sort of United States, bring England team up. And so Thomas Wayne knew that Alfred would be able to train his son and make him, skilled in hand-to-hand combat and things like that. So, which kind of obviously comes in handy later for Batman. So I'm wondering, it seems like now this is a tougher Alfred. This is like an Alfred that's not, he can make tea, and then he can also make you pay for your crimes.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
He definitely gave
sure.
Bruce one of them shakes on the other episode. He was like,
yeah.
boy, if you don't stop. I was like, ooh, Alfred gonna give him a backhand one this time.
I know. This Alfred definitely looks like he's more qualified to teach Bruce how to box than to, like, you know, keep the linens clean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Started with the fencing lessons already.
It did. And that also brings me to another question that I had personally. Will they use this Alfred and this storyline to eliminate the whole having to leave the Gotham City and come back storyline synopsis?
Oh, that would be interesting, because then we could just jump into.
But we could just talk about that around season 20.
Right.
You know, so.
That's
You
true.
think, like, no League of Shadows? No.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe he won't need all that, but then again, it'll take off the fact that, you know, Bruce is like a detective ninja, you know what I'm saying? The theatrics of his whole thing.
And let's not forget that as a TV show, they can leap forward 4 years in one season. TV
They
shows do
could.
that all the time.
That's
Where they're
like he could be a
because
preteen
everyone else
and
is an adult except for Selina Kyle.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone else can age 4 years, and their characters don't have to age 4 years in real life. In fact, the actors probably prefer that. Like,
I would hope,
younger.
you know, Selina Kyle, actress, and the Bruce Wayne guy, that you guys aren't out of a job for this. We don't want to throw that out there. Hopefully we see you
love your
again.
work.
You're doing good so far. Yeah, but just be prepared just in case.
Right.
Okay? Set some money aside in the mattress or something. But that also asked me, it was interesting to see when Bruce was watching the whole Balloonman ambulance part, and he was like, Alfred was telling him the whole thing about he was killing, so it made him a criminal.
Yeah.
And then Alfred was like, there you go. And I'm assuming that's what teaches him the whole, like, no guns type theory that Batman has. So, you know.
Not even just the no guns. Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah, he takes everybody to jail.
What's what was the storyline with the Red Hood where the second Robin, Jason Todd that was killed
Yes.
by the Joker,
Crowbar.
came back as the Red Hood, as another vigilante, and because Ra's al Ghul brought him back to life with some pit or something.
He was like a Punisher.
The Lazarus Pit.
With the Lazarus Pit, and you know, basically Red Hood was killing everybody, and it came down to this confrontation between this three-way confrontation between Red Hood, who was Jason Todd, Batman, and Joker, and Jason Todd was like, kill him. Like, you killed me by not killing him, and, like, you know, trying to teach him that lesson.
Yeah.
And Batman still won't do it.
Yeah.
Kill.
He's got scruples. That's good.
And then, yeah, but that was actually a good movie. Y'all need to check that out. It was Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah, the animation and everything on that was good. Not to sound too much like a nerd, but hey, we're here, so we all know. You know what I'm saying? But
There's nothing wrong with animated movies.
yeah,
Animated
there's
movies are
nothing.
great.
I'm with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And then, what exactly? Now we were talking about the Penguin going on and popping up at Gordon's house. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a good way to formulate this. Okay, so.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, okay,
Let's just talk
that's
about
better. Let's just
Bruce
talk about
and
it.
Barbara. And I guess I want to talk about the fact that, you know, her heart might belong to somebody else, and it might be a lady. And what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I didn't know where that was coming from when it was in the thing. I was like, whoa,
Mythos breaking.
I was like, wait. So she got house keys. At first, I was curious about that. Like, who gave her house keys?
Yeah.
And then when she was like, Barbara, you know where my heart is. And I was like, I thought it was in your chest. I don't know where we're going with this. And then they had the little awkward kiss.
She
And I was like,
got a little close to the person's
Yeah, I was like,
face.
wait a
They were,
minute.
like, she was right up in there.
But you know what's
Yeah.
funny? You know what's funny is you guys used to joke. I mean, we joked about that, about like them being lovers,
Yeah.
like them having those like secret talks and stuff like that. And so when it actually happened tonight, I was like, no, I thought we were kidding, but that's like a thing.
And we can't even forget the fact that she called her like a drug addict too.
I know.
She was like, "Oh, you back on that
And
stuff?"
She was like,
And she was
I'm
smoking pot,
sober
though.
for over a year now. So
Yeah.
they were both on drugs together.
But wait,
you know.
wasn't she just doing weed? Like,
I
wasn't
know.
she just smoking a joint? But she had it
Right.
like a little cigarette kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I could
Probably
have
using the
sworn that was a
tweezers,
joint.
you know, the little-
And then she had a
Tiny
little
little
ashtray.
She rolled a little joint.
Yeah.
I know, and she's calling her a drug addict. I'm sorry.
And,
that's
and
quaint.
what was it? Who was the detective's name that went up in the house? Whoever, I can't remember the name. But you
Montoya?
was trespassing in people's house, so don't try to get on her for doing weed in the privacy of her own living room.
Montoya.
Okay.
And I mean, if this was like the future, weed's probably legal then, right? Anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Come
Well,
on,
we
it's
don't
on
know
the
when
way.
this is. It's probably past.
Wild speculation.
Wild speculation.
But I want to know a couple. Like, what's the timeline on this? Like Barbara Gordon, Barbara, or what's her, Barbara Yates or whatever her name is right now.
Kane, I think,
Barbara
right
Kane.
now.
Like she has this Barbara Keane. She has this amazing apartment in a clock tower in Gotham City, high rise. So she obviously lived there long enough that this girl got a key to it.
Yeah.
But now Jim Gordon has a key to it and lives there as well. So it was Barbara's place that Jim moved into. But how long did this all take place? Because I think they said in the pilot that the other detective, the criminal detective, knew her in college.
Yeah.
So she owned that apartment in college?
Well,
She's got a rich family. That's
That's
what
what
part
I'm
of me
saying.
wonders if like she
Yeah.
has some, because I remember in the first episode where her other scissoring half was asking her about was like, yeah, he doesn't know about you, and you know, is it like, oh, does he not know that you that you smoke pot sometimes, or is it like she has like dirtier secrets? And my guess is that her dirtier secret was maybe she has some criminal ties, because if she's wealthy, maybe she's actually like connected to one of the criminal families in the city or something.
Yeah.
So that's my
Does Gordon know
hypothesis.
that she has some?
Well, you gotta smell the weed in the house. If she got some good stuff, you gonna smell the
love
dank
tendencies.
in the
This
is
house
true.
somewhere.
This is true.
So I mean, either he knows and just like it's cool, it keeps her calm and cool and collected,
Right.
Or what?
It's medicinal. She has back problems.
Yeah.
And
And they
lives in the
did.
clock tower. All she got to do is open the window. You
They
get some
tried
nice
to-
breeze
She's
up
got a
there.
huge
Yeah.
You get a nice breeze up there.
They tried to give us a little bit more detective work in this one too.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
whole balloon man, you know, we was going back and forth with the like, oh, is it this person? Is it that person?
Yeah.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
You're
buying it.
yeah, I was gonna say
I'm not-
you're shaking your head about this detective stuff, and I want to hear how you feel about it.
I'm
'cause
not
kind of
buying it.
feel
It's
the
just
same.
it's every single episode so far has just been. There's really no detective work. They're just like, what do we do? What do I do next? And they're like, all of a sudden it just drops in their lap, and it's just like,
There's the
oh,
weather balloon. We looked
this
through a
is
threshold.
the case. It just appeared, and it's just like no actual detective work is being done, even by Jim Gordon. Like for that matter, it's just like I happen to be in the right place at the right time every time, you know, and it's not. Come
Yeah,
on.
when he found
Yeah.
out that
It's a
whole
little too
old building.
convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why like I've said before that I think like the show has an identity crisis, because like it can't really stick to like the Law and Order CSI formula, because it just doesn't work. You know, they're not doing the detective work, and frankly, this show gets stolen by like the interesting characters like Penguin and stuff like that, and not even just because I'm a total Penguin fan, but just because these like really interesting characters like Fish and the other guys just kind of steal it. So it's. I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think about this attempt to take like the DC world and stick it in like what do you call it, a crime drama or like a police procedural or something like that.
I think probably the biggest problem was it goes back to the pilot. They tried to do too much at once. They introduced so many characters right from the jump. So now we're following all these characters, and we're constantly introducing new ones at the same time.
Sure.
And it's
That's a
like
good
we
point.
have like 20 different storylines going off, and it's like how much. We don't get attached to one, we can't follow one. So we're only spending like maybe 10 minutes of the show actually with Jim Gordon and 10 minutes with Penguin. And it's just like, how far can you really develop one person when you have that time limit?
But in a way that kind of honors the voice of a comic book, though, because a comic book is very short, clipped moments that then jump to another moment, that jump to another moment. And I know that's obviously a very different medium to go from a TV show to a comic book, but certainly some of the dialogue feels ripped from the pages of a comic book on this show. Obviously, the characters are from a very iconic comic book, so I wonder if they're honoring that tone with this show. And I think that, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, like, they're not going to change the way they're doing it, clearly, so it's kind of, as viewers, we either have to adapt and like it.
Speaking of that, Fox, now come talk. Fox,
Message for Fox.
we enjoy the show.
I agree.
Okay, we're not taking away from the show. I just want you guys to know that you're right here. You're right here.
You're in our hearts.
Don't forget that. Okay. Now, before we move on to the fan questions as well, which we always got to ask those. So keep on sending them to us. Please give us a list to choose from. We have to check out. We want you guys to check out Gotham Talk. Okay, it's blogtalkradio.com/Gotham Talk. Check them out. Hit them up. See what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And don't be shy. You know, we ain't judging nobody. We all nerds here. And if you're not a nerd and you just like Batman, say something that you won't say. Okay, you don't judge nobody.
Beat it, geeks.
Exactly.
I love Batman.
Yeah, there you go. That's all you got to
that.
say.
Yeah.
So the first fan question comes from @C_K_De Guzman. Okay, did I get that right? Do you think Dr. Freeze, aka
Dr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze, okay, will be on the show?
You know, believe it or not, I was actually thinking about that today. For some reason, I was just, because he's one of the more iconic ones. Because
were
he's
thinking
Arnold
about a villain?
Schwarzenegger. I
You were thinking about a bad guy?
I wonder.
My next crazy boyfriend.
Yeah. But
My harem of crazy boyfriends.
realistically, I think he'll have a cameo of some sort. Maybe he might be a little younger. You know, maybe he's in a relationship with the old girl, Miss Freeze, that he's
Nora.
Nora, that was her name. Maybe they're like in a college relationship, something before he gets to that
Well, he always was much older than Batman was anyway. So I mean, you could actually probably see him in his maybe early 30s right now, and I don't see an issue. Like, I think it would be great to bring him in, kind of like how they have like the Riddler now, where he's kind of like their thing. Maybe Dr. Freeze is like their forensics guy or some crap like that.
Yeah.
You know? That would be cool. You know, and his wife's still alive
Or
before, you know. And
He has
we
an
get to
ice cream
see.
truck, maybe. I don't know.
Well, then we'd call him the Diggler guy again. You know, he'd probably have some orientation with the
Diggler
priest.
guy?
What was
Oh.
it? Diddler. Excuse me.
The
Boogie
diddling
Nights
ice
reference.
cream.
Yeah,
guy.
Boogie Nights reference. I'm sorry.
I got exactly what you were saying. I understood.
The diddling diggler.
Yes.
Well, I definitely think it's a possibility. I mean, we've seen the trailer of all. We know the characters that they've teased at. We're gonna get Scarecrow. We're gonna get Harvey Dent. We're gonna get Victor Zsasz.
Who I'm excited about,
We're gonna
by the way.
get Dr. Hugo Strange. Arkham's opening, so it's like there's lots of possibilities. He could definitely pop up anywhere.
Sweet.
And that brings us to question number 2 by @MarkSerio. Did I say that right? Do you think Batgirl will be named after her mother, Barbara, and Barbara will die? Now, speaking of Barbara, I think I made a grave mistake on the last episode.
Oh, yeah?
With the whole Batwoman and Batgirl situation. Now, I tend to get them a little tongue twisted at times. My mistake, okay? I've been corrected plenty of times. I do appreciate that. That shows you we actually watching what you're saying. So keep telling us stuff. Don't be shy. Keep talking to us. But yes, so, I mean, from what I've looked up, what I've researched so far is that Barbara, the Batgirl version, is actually an adoptive daughter of Gordon's. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is from like an uncle and sister-in-law, or like a brother and sister-in-law. And then she becomes Batgirl. Okay, but as far as Barbara dying, I mean, I feel like she might, you know, who knows? I think this is Gordon's, second marriage? I think he originally, well, in the comics, I think he originally was with a lady named like Sarah Gordon or something like that. Yeah, and then
Or maybe he's ultimately with her. Maybe Barbara does die, and that's
yeah. And the thing is, maybe Barbara does die, and it gets him, you know, a little bit more hardcore in his job, you know, because he's already like
grizzled.
Boy Scout. Maybe that gritties him up a little bit.
Yeah, that would make sense why he would name his daughter after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll probably do it as a regular daughter on this one. And then also I was curious because if that I don't want to say LBGT, I don't want to keep it safe, you know, just in case if we do have any watching, but. I wonder if her lover, you know, will have anything to do with a potential death out of some sort of jealousy or something.
Ooh, that'd
You
be
know?
spicy. Get a little
Because
love
she
triangle
said, like,
going on.
I love you and I don't want you messing with Gordon.
Right.
So she's doing everything in her power to bring Gordon down right now, I feel like, personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, who knows? It just seems like something that could possibly happen.
And they've set that character up, that detective, to be
Yeah.
a very impulsive, character that doesn't care about rules. I mean, she broke into the apartment. She's really overstepping her boundaries as a police officer.
Can you call it breaking in?
Absolutely. She doesn't live there anymore. I don't care. Like,
he has a point.
She should have given the key back.
We need to watch you.
Yeah. Do you think if you come into possession of keys, you can just
I'm just really forgiving,
joyrided this BMW because I found the keys on the ground. Yeah. No, there's rules. There's decorum.
I'm just very kind.
That is true. She has a good heart.
You would wait for him at home to get inside the house, and when they come out in their robe, wearing nothing. So
she's always in a robe.
Well, Barbara may have a bad memory from all that dank wead she's smoking.
Yeah,
too. That might be
keeps her in the bathroom.
I don't know who has a key. I've been on a lot of drugs. Milkman has a key. Penguin's got a key now, probably.
Yeah, probably.
And then next question is from @dark_night1028. Okay. Do you think that Alfred will be the one to teach Bruce how to fight his quest to become Batman like in Earth 1? We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we were
Earth
wondering
1
if...
was the one I was talking about with Balloonman. That's the one Balloonman was in, was Earth 1.
Yeah, ironically, we were just talking about that too. So we are obviously on accordance and agreement with you right now because I'm kind of feeling that same vibe. Maybe we won't get a League of Shadows. Maybe we will. Who knows? But then again, like you said, that's
you gotta give Batman that League of Shadows.
Yeah.
You gotta give that Ross. Man,
you're missing out on you're missing out on a whole.
Like he goes around the world and like learns every kung fu fighting style that there
but
is.
we
that makes him the badass that he is.
Yeah, exactly. Like how could he take on these people unless he had that like super special Ra's al Ghul training? But then we were joking about how like some of these villains are kind of old, so maybe that's how he could kick everyone's ass. They're all 30 years older than him by the time he grows up.
By the time he grows up to Batman, he's got like they all got 20+ years on him. So it's like that's why he always whips him off.
I also think like it's important to remember that in terms of just this specific TV show, we're not really supposed to worry about what Batman's going to be doing for a long time because that is years away in this universe, this current universe. What I'm sure the writers and producers of the show are trying to get us to focus on is like Jim Gordon, and his saga and his quest to become a commissioner.
But at the same time, that may be true, but they don't spend a lot of time on Jim Gordon, first of all.
Yeah.
And anybody who's going to watch this show is going to want to know what the hell's going on with Batman anyway. Because he's a superstar.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that before, too. Like, don't forget that it's about Gordon. Like, we focus on Bruce, Alfred, and Batman, but we can't forget that Gordon is the reason that this is all going on. You know what I'm saying? And you can get lost in that because Batman is a very interesting character.
And right now he can't do much because he's a kid. So he's not going to go out and get in fight scenes. He's not going to be investigating any crimes. He basically has to sit in his giant mansion and watch TV with his his butler.
Oh, such a horrible life.
Around,
Such a horrible life to live, right?
I know, life is so hard.
It's tough to not have friends, guys.
I know, and to like have to fast sometimes. You know, to not be able to eat your like bread pudding and stuff like that. And
oh dear, that does sound scrumptious.
I'm not going to have any sugar in my tea, Alfred. I'm teaching myself to be strong.
Well, no, this Alfred might force feed him because this Alfred don't take no shit from nobody.
No, that's true. That's
Drink your tea,
yeah.
Mr. Wayne.
You need to be strong for times like these.
But yes,
Jasmine tea is good for you.
Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling great about that. I think everything we got our point across fairly well. Yeah. Okay.
I think so too. Well, I want to know what you guys, I want to hear back from you guys. Like, number one, we're going to do a cosplay episode, and I want to know what you guys think we should cosplay as. I think that he should do Mr. Fish Mooney. What do you think about that? What do you think about this one? What do you think that he should do? I don't know.
Someone real handsome, I bet.
But also, I want to hear from you guys about, we were, you know, in the little teaser for the next episode, we see a young villainess. And I'm curious about if you guys have guesses on who you think that young villainess is going to be. You see Fish Mooney talking to a chick. Who you guys think that's going to be? Holler at us.
There you go. And on that note, yeah, guys, like I said, let us know some stuff, talk to us, and don't forget to subscribe to theStream.tv on YouTube, okay? And continue to tweet us. You know, we're always looking for questions, answers, everything. Don't forget the hashtag GothamAS. We're not going to spontaneously find you on the Twitterverse. That's a very large opening. That sounded bad. That's a very large media site.
That shape is also bad. Not much better.
Yes.
Okay.
The point is,
we
if you have a
can't go
question,
through the opening.
I will find you, and I will answer your question.
We'll find you.
As long as you got hashtag GothamAS. So remember that. And deuces, we will see you next week.
Deuces.
Goodbye.
Deuces.